Hello and welcome to a special episode of Build Back Better. I'm Dawn from For the Region and I'm joined by my co-founder Zoe, and today we are talking to inspiring young people from across South West Wales. The future of our region, of course, is in the hands of the younger generation, and I'm always interested to understand what motivates young people to get involved in change-making projects and perhaps what some of the obstacles are that prevent young people from feeling empowered in our communities. And this afternoon, we're really grateful to some really inspiring young people who have taken the time to come and talk to us about what they're up to in the Swansea area and in Neath, Talbot. So welcome, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. Lola, I'm going to come to you first. You live in Neath, Talbot, and I understand that you're involved in the Neath Talbot Youth Council. Tell us a little bit about you and how you came to get involved with that organisation.
Hi, so I'm 14 years old and I joined the Youth Council around 2 years ago, where I got the opportunity to pass through my school, where we had an election and we had to pass through an application, and then the pupils had the opportunity to vote for who they'd like to be their representative from the school. And around 2 or 3 people from each school then made it onto the Youth Council. And I was lucky enough to be voted in. And since then we have around 1 meeting every month. And then we'll have like workshops and different sort of events maybe in between then. And I've attended lots of different events and workshops. Like back in January before COVID, I attended a climate change residential with Public Health Wales in Cardiff. And I've done like gambling awareness workshops and mental health workshops. And I've also been passed many opportunities through the Youth Council, like this one being a part of For the Region, which I've recently joined. And also recently I got passed the opportunity to join the youth panel for Sports Wales, which I applied for and got accepted for as well, which I was really happy about. But also within the Youth Council, we're doing lots of projects. So at the moment, we're working on a project called Sustainable Schools, where we're trying to make schools more eco-friendly and environmentally aware, where we're trying to reduce the plastic in the school canteens. And that right now we're trying to swap plastic forks for like wooden forks and degradable forks. We're also trying to pilot meatless Mondays in schools to make schools more aware of the impact that meat has on our environment. And so we're working with local companies and then piloting it in Cumbrumble as the school we're piloting the sustainable schools in. We also recently worked on a fruit tree project where we got 2 or 3 fruit trees delivered to all the schools in Neath Talbot to be planted. So that was successful and all the schools got their trees and planted them, and we got photos with all of them. But yeah, and I would definitely recommend, we've got our new elections coming up soon as well, because your time lasts for 2 years. So we'll be creating a video to send out to all the schools to encourage young people to go for the opportunity, because I would highly recommend it, because not only do you get to have your voice heard as a young person, you also get to meet many incredible other young people that are passionate for the same things as you.
It sounds like a really amazing opportunity and such fantastic experience to be involved in loads of different things. The projects and initiatives that you guys undertake, do you choose the things that you want to work on? How are those decisions made?
Yeah, so we can come up with our own social action plans, and then obviously Jan and the other support workers will help us then drive those ideas forward. So yeah, but also maybe occasionally we'll get people write to us with ideas that they have.
It's a great opportunity to, I guess, represent the views of the rest of your school, and I suppose meet other people from across the district and loads of different schools as well. Has it started to shape your ideas about your future and what's important to you? Has it changed your outlook on life to be part of the Youth Council?
Yes, definitely. I'd say it's also made me a lot more confident, and it's really where I found my passion for looking after our environment and climate change and raising awareness, and also empowering youth voice.
And do you think there are enough opportunities in society and in our communities for young people? Have you found that organisations are welcoming to youth voice, or do you think organisations should do more?
I think it's definitely gotten better recently, especially over lockdown. I think youth voice has been listened to a lot more, but I do think there is still some change that can be done. But I think definitely within schools they're getting better with listening to youth pupil voice a lot more, and like with local youth councils, I think it is getting better, yeah.
I know from working with businesses and organisations across the region, we're always talking about how we need to involve more young people, especially in designing things that affect young people. And it's all about kind of co-production and making sure that people have the opportunity to have their voices heard. But quite often organisations don't really know where to start and how to reach out to young people to get them involved. And I think youth councils are a great place to start. And I think local authorities across our region all have some form of youth forum or youth council. So I'm really grateful, Lola, for you coming and talking to us this afternoon about what that's meant for you. It sounds like a really fantastic opportunity, and I'm sure you're doing amazing work. And those kinds of issues that young people particularly care about around the environment, around equalities. It's so great to see young people like you stepping up and playing your part. So well done, and thanks for sharing your perspective with us. We've also got 3 lads here from the Bishopston Pump Track project, which is a fantastic project in the Swansea area. Which of you would like to tell us first of all about the project? Can I come to you, Elliot? Will you introduce us to the Pump Track project? What's it all about?
Yeah, sure. So us 3, Jed, Jake and myself, started Bishopston Skatepark project back in 2018. And our goal from then has been to build a pump track, which is a type of skate facility in our local village, because there wasn't really anything for older kids to do for free anyways. And we wanted to change that. So we got together and met with the local council, the community council, and we shared our ideas with them. And originally they did not come on board with us with the project, and it's taken us up until last summer really when they first finally agreed to go ahead with it. And in those 2 years where we changed over time, we adapted with the community. So, you know, we did surveys, we did meetings with people from the community, we did as much as we can to get everyone's voice heard. And that's what this whole thing has been about for us, is just making sure everyone gets their opinion and everyone's heard, because we saw that there was an imbalance with that, and we just wanted to make our area better for young people.
That has taken an amazing amount of perseverance already then. If it's taken that long to get the local council to agree, it sounds like that's been a huge piece of work. Jake, can I come to you? What made you want to get involved in this project? And I guess what are your reflections on the journey so far?
So as Elliot said, we started the project in 2018 with Jed, Elliot, myself and I. And we started it with an online petition. And what the petition was for a skate park in Bishopston. And what we did, overnight we had, I think it was about over 500 signatures after it got shared around on local Facebook groups, on Instagram. And that's when we learned that this project was going to be a lot bigger than just an idea, and we had enough support to make it a reality. So after then, we went around with clipboards, knocking on people's doors, asking them to sign a hand signed petition, and then we went to the community council, like Elliot said, but they were not on side with the idea of a skate park. So we went back and we reflected as a group on how we could prove to the community council that this was a facility that was needed in Bishopston. So we have worked like really closely with our local councillor, Lyndon Jones, who was on side pretty much from the start after we spoke to him about the project and explained everything to him. And I think one of the big hurdles were finding the perfect location. So what we've done over the past 2 years is found out like what pieces of land the community council own, and coming back to them, say, what about this site? And we've even held like skate events in the school, in the primary schools, where we've had like 150 kids turn up at one time, which is awesome. And currently at the minute, we're waiting for a pre-planning response to come through. So we're finally getting through the planning process, which is great.
Really an amazing journey, and sounds like you've had to really win the hearts and minds of lots of people. Do you think that members of the local council were fearful of what a skate park might mean? And do you think that's kind of like a broader sense of distrust between the generations, or why do you think there were so many objections?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, actually. I think there's quite a lot of fear about change, and people are worried of like building new things and like new facilities, and like unfortunately sometimes there is a bit of a like I'd say I don't know, like rumors about what could go on if a skate park or a pump track was built anywhere. But what we tried to do is prove that a facility like this would actually sometimes even deter this behavior. Like, we met up with our local area police officer about a year or two ago, and he actually wrote an article in support of the pump track getting built, which was really, really awesome. And like, to fund the designs, which we've just recently got off Clark and Kent Contractors, which are one of the UK's biggest pump track builders, we set up a fundraising page in online, and Swansea Council actually donated just over £1,000 to that page. And we've had GoFundMe pages set up where local people have done their own sponsored challenges, where we've probably had over, I'd say, 100 donors from all different areas of the community, which really, really shows the support for the project, which is, this money has helped us fund planning and obviously pay for the designs.
Gosh, really sort of serious undertaking. That sounds amazing. Jed, can I come to you? What has been your role in the project, and what have been the kind of key learning points for you out of this whole experience?
Hi. Yeah, I'm quite a keen surfer and skateboarder, so it's kind of like doing this whole project for the community. I think I really enjoyed getting involved and stuff. When it came to like making the planning and stuff, we came up with ideas for like planning, and because I'm like an often skateboarder, it's like getting that right. Like it was really like we had to get it right. So like we spoke to the community and like the different aspects of the community, what they thought, and we got like everyone's ideas together to make this one big design, which we then sent off to them. And yeah, it's definitely going to change the lives of a lot of like young people around here.
Massive positive impact. And has it changed, has it given you a better understanding of how these kinds of community projects happen? I guess none of us really know what happens behind the closed doors of the councils and things like that. Would you say that it's given you better understanding of how to make change happen in communities?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think you definitely just have to go for it. Like before you came to the council, I really feel like the community council were not including the community very much and then we went forward with this idea, and although it took us a couple of years, I think you should just keep on pushing through and go for it, and it will end up happening.
I'm so inspired by you guys. It's so fantastic. Each of your projects, what you're achieving, and what it's just absolutely so inspiring. Boys, what's your sort of plea to the community? You've mentioned sort of funding. Are you looking for? Do you need constant funding? Is the project? Do you need to crowdsource money to make the project happen, or is just the funding that you're looking for to help you, as you've said, pay for the planning and the processes, or do you need money to actually make it happen?
Yes, so we, the first funding we ever got was last September, when we put a crowdfunding page up with Swansea Council's match funding scheme, where people anywhere could donate online. And we got, I think, around 2,000 from people's donations. And then Swansea Council saw how popular this project was, and they decided to match fund, I think, £1,200 or somewhere around there towards the project. And that money was going towards planning and the designs. Designs we've got, planning we're in the process of doing. And then after we get planning, we can then fund for the main part of the project, which is the construction, which is looking to cost around £70,000 to £80,000. And we've got a few different ways that we could go around that. around that, we could look at going to Swansea Council, or we could look at large grants from places like the National Lottery. So we've already looked into these methods, and we're in the process of trying to really choose which would be most effective for our project specifically.
Yeah, it's a real well-being project, isn't it? You know, it's so good for the community. It's good outdoors, it's getting everybody together. Oh, I just think it's really inspiring. Well done, boys. Lola, same sort of question, really, if that's okay. When you're doing these projects, like the fruit tree project, for example, where do you get your funding from?
I'm pretty sure we just got help from the Neath Talbot Council to get funding. Sorry, Jan, is that true?
For the trees, it was actually, yeah, Neath Talbot Youth Service that funded the trees. We had some money that over and underspent, so the Youth Council brought it to me, and then we funded the trees. But a lot of the time, like Lola said, we go to Neath Talbot Youth, to the council as well, yeah.
I wonder whether you guys have got advice or insight for other young people across our region. And I'll come to you first, Lola. What would you say to young people about their role in society and perhaps the opportunities and responsibilities that they can take advantage of?
I would say definitely not be afraid of using their voices, and really, if they want change, really drive it and push for it. Because like we have just the right to push change as adults do, I think. So if you want something that you're not happy with in your local community, or want something to be changed, take it to your school or write a letter to your council, really push for that change to happen.
Great. Jake, what are your words of wisdom for other young people?
Yeah, so I'd say something quite similar to Lola, like if you want change in your community, try look on your local council's website for who your local councillor is, and try get in touch with them. Or if it's something you can approach your community council about, if you've got one in your area, approach them. I'd say try approach like the individual councillor first, as they'll have a lot of knowledge in the community about the people who you can speak to make the change.
Brilliant. Hopefully all the support is out there once you get the ball rolling, but it sounds like quite a challenging journey. Jed, how about you? What advice or wisdom would you share? Has it been challenging for you to have the confidence?
No, yeah, I think definitely like you do have to, like shadowing what Lola and Jake said, you do have to really go for it and like push forward, and like there will be knockbacks at certain points, but you have to just push through them. I think definitely a big way that we found like advertising and like sharing with the community what we wanted to do was through social media. I know that we had Facebook pages, Instagram pages to spread like all of like keeping people updated what we're doing like constantly upon the project. Yeah, I think just go for it. Like there's nothing, you're not going to lose anything. You're only just going to gain experience.
Yeah, that's such a powerful tool, isn't it? Social media, to really reach out directly to the people in the community. And it sounds like that's been a really key part of your strategy. So great advice there. And Elliot, I'll come to you last. If you've got any other wisdom to share, what would you say to other young people across our region?
Just, yeah, don't be afraid for, if you don't feel like you're confident, just, send an email to, as Jake said, your local council, anyone, and be the change you want to see, because you can make the world a better place if you can work for it.
I think that is just the perfect message to end on. Be the change you want to see. I'm so grateful to all of you for coming and talking to us about your fantastic projects in the community. I think it really sets a fantastic example. And the other thing is, it's brilliant experience, hopefully, for all of you, and helps to empower you to go forward and continue making change across our fantastic region over the coming months and years. To all of you listening, I'd encourage you to follow up on those conversations, see if you can contribute to crowdfunding campaigns like the Bishopston Pump Track and other local crowdfunders in your area, where young people are stepping up and saying what they need, and also get in touch with the youth councils and youth forums in each of the local authority areas and find out how your organisation can benefit from youth voice. As we've heard this afternoon, these are insightful, inspiring, empowered, confident intelligent and very wise young people, and we should be listening to them in everything that we do. I've really enjoyed meeting you all, and thanks so much for listening. That's the end of today's conversation. To all our listeners, please subscribe, please drop a comment below, and tune in again next week for another empowering conversation from us here at For the Region. Bye for now.